Hello! In this video I'm going to talk about how Moodle releases are numbered, what are the major and minor releases, when to upgrade, what to expect when you upgrade. What I'm not going to talk about is how to upgrade. This is a big topic on its own. As you know, Moodle is an open source LMS that anyone can download and install on their own hosting provider or local machine. Unless you host your site with moodlecloud.com, you need to download new version of source code regularly and upgrade to stay on top of the bug fixes, new features, and security fixes. If you use an old version of Moodle, your site may be vulnerable to security exploits that have been disclosed and fixed. M in Moodle stands for modular. Users of this LMS extend the product with plugins. Plugins interact with Moodle using the API, Application Program Interface. When the API changes, plugins may stop working or show errors. So the problem is, without significant core and API changes, Moodle can't evolve and grow. With API changes, plugins stop working. Users of Moodle want to stay on the same stable version that guarantees their plugins keep working, but they still expect bug fixes. Major releases in Moodle introduce significant changes, but after they are released, only bug fixes and small improvements are allowed. Major releases also continue to be supported even after the next major release is out. Let's look at the page in the Moodle documentation called Releases. These two-digit releases that you see in the table of contents are what it's called major releases. Unlike other software, Moodle has a fixed release schedule to help schools plan upgrades in advance. Major releases come out twice a year in May and November, just before summer holidays in northern and southern hemispheres. Major upgrades usually happen during holidays when system downtime should not affect the education process. Major releases are normally supported for 1 year for general bug fixes and additional 6 months for security bug fixes. Starting from Moodle 2.7, every fourth release has security support extended to 3 years. These releases are called LTS, which stands for long-term support. On this page you can look up each version and find the release date, the end of support and end of security support dates. As I previously mentioned, upgrades between major versions may mean that plugins also need to be upgraded. When upgrading to the next major version, administrators must also upgrade and carefully test all contributed plugins and preferably also test all essential functionality. Admins upgrade a test site first and then upgrade in production. Bug fixes happen throughout the year. Every week, usually on Thursday or Friday, new weekly versions of each supported Moodle version are released. They contain only bug fixes, do not have any API changes, and all contributed plugins should continue working on these versions of Moodle without any modifications. Admins of Moodle sites can upgrade every week if they want to stay on top of all recent bug fixes, but they don't have to. There are no security fixes in the weekly releases. Each weekly release has a unique version number. This is the version number. It appears if you hover the release name in the notifications page. But the version name for weekly releases does not change. For example, all weekly releases between 3.2.4 and 3.2.5 are called 3.2.4+. On the same page you can find the build date that will tell you when it was released. If you look at Moodle source code, all these numbers can be found in version PHP in the root directory. Every 2 months, minor versions are released. Their schedule is also fixed to help plan upgrades. It is the second Monday of January, March, May, July, September, and November. They are all months with the odd numbers. Minor versions increment the third digit in the version number. Look at this picture again. You see that 2 months after 3.2 was released, Moodle released 3.2.1, then 3.2.2, and the current minor version is 3.2.4. The next minor release is expected in September 2017, and it will have the number 3.2.5. Minor releases also have general bug fixes, just like weekly releases, but they also have security fixes. Administrators must upgrade sites after a minor release as soon as possible, otherwise the site may become vulnerable. Details of the security fixes are published 1 week after release. If you register your site with Moodle.net, you will receive details of security fixes on the actual day of the release. Just don't forget to select Notify me about important issues. So, let's summarize. Major releases introduce new features and API changes. They come out twice a year, usually second Monday of May and November, but they may be delayed. Weekly and minor releases only fix bugs, do not change APIs, and guarantee that plugins continue working. Minor releases contain security fixes. They come out every 2 months on the second Monday of January, March, May, July, September, and November.